Torrey Gymnasium is the place to be on this Tuesday evening as a large crowd awaits a Class 3A Top 10 matchup between the 9th-ranked Morton Potters and the undefeated top-ranked Washington Panthers. Welcome into the broadcast, everybody. I'm Owen Dimple. Alongside me is Washington's own Jeff Little. And Jeff, thank you for being here, and we got a great game on our hands tonight.
Yeah, this was a game not to be missed, and you can tell by the crowd size, whether it was a free popcorn or the coaches for cancer or probably more likely the 1 versus 9 matchup.
A lot at stake tonight. Rankings in the Class 3A, as that's already early knocked away by Laufenberg, and it gives up to Brock. 3-ball from the Potters, no good. That was Van Meter, but the rebound good by Selk. Paige Selke with the first 2 points of the ball game. We mentioned it a little bit. I mean, a lot at stake as that ball's kicked around a little bit, but first place, sole possession of first place in the Mid-Illini Conference at stake tonight.
Yeah, both teams 6-0 coming in here tonight, and you know that both teams want to be in a situation where they're in control of their own destiny.
Here's Donald with her right hook shot, and it's good. Adrian Donald gets the first points for the Panthers. They even it up at 2. Now the Potters looking to go to work yet again. Wide open. Selke, her 3-ball, little too much. Long rebound to Tibbs. Here come the Panthers. Quick transition down the blow to Gaudet. Good.
Good push up the floor by McDougal and get an easy basket.
Danny Gaudet with her first points of the game.
You know, one of the things that make the Panthers so dangerous is the versatility of a lot of players. You know, McDougal, one of their bigger players, gets a rebound, pushes the ball up the court, makes a great lead pass for a layup. Doesn't have to go to a point guard like a lot of teams will try to do.
The Panthers, that's the one thing they can really hang their hat on. A very versatile team. You can get scoring from a lot of different options. Here's Van Menen, gets trapped. Wide open, Katie Brock, her 3-pointer, nothing but net. But all-around very terrific team, and a team that off to a 21-0 start. There's a layup from Tibbs. A 21-0 start, but they're looking for more.
Well, that's a situation there where I'm sure Coach Becker, they're trying to take away that 3-point shot, but there was no weak side help there on Tibbs' drive to the basket.
A little over 2 minutes into the opening quarter, and this one off to a tremendous start. 6-5 Washington leads. Potters working the ball around. Here's Van Menen, top of the key. Now the Potters look to move around. Brock now with it. Posting up down low, almost taken away by Donald. 3-point shot, too much. That was Laufenberg. Offensive rebound, good. Ellie Van Menen with the 2-point basket.
Good, you've already seen a couple of offensive rebound baskets. Coach Barth won't like giving up offensive second chances. When you get a stop, you got to convert by getting the defensive rebound.
Tibbs' jump shot, that's good as well. And Tibbs, you can make the argument she's one of the best shooters in the area, if not the entire state.
Absolutely. But the thing about Avery, too, is her game has continued to develop. I mean, she came in as a great shooter, and now, you know, she can put it on the floor like she did, give an assist right there to McDougal like we saw. So she's a complete player and is becoming even more so.
The junior guard has taken big strides along her high school career, and still a lot more left of her career here at Washington. Here's Brock driving baseline, kicks it out. They'll swing it around. Van Menen down below lost it, and that's going the other way as Van Menen dribbled off her shin, it looked like.
I would expect Coach Becker probably tonight with Washington's versatility on offense, I would expect him to change defenses a lot. You know, traditionally a man-to-man team, do some zones, some half-court traps, some full-court pressure, just to kind of change the look for the Panthers.
Change the look, and these are two teams that already met earlier. That shot was partially blocked. These two teams met a little bit earlier in the State Farm Holiday Classic semifinal. Washington was the victors in that one by a score of 44-40. A team that played three times last year. Here's a quick transition for the Panthers. They'll look to go up, and no good was O'Brien's shot.
Tibbs, nice rebound, great pass to McDougal.
McDougal, she gets her first opportunity at the basket. And it's now a 3-point Panther lead. Yeah, these are two teams that saw each other 3 times last year, twice in the regular season, and then in the sectional semifinal. We get a foul down low. Wonder if that'll be against Adrian Donald, and it will be.
She's drawing the matchup on Selk inside, and Selk trying to post her up, and those are some of those fouls I know as a defensive coach you don't like them. As an offensive coach, you love them. So
she'll have a lot on her plate tonight, as Selke is the leading scorer for the Potters, averaging almost 15 per game. She's coming off a 17-point performance against Dunlap, and a turnover by the Potters.
Kind of a quick screen, didn't really get set there, and Redling Schaefer trying to fight through the screen on the out-of-bounds play draws a foul on the Potters.
One way or another, you'll take the basketball going the other way anyway. Here's Tibbs bringing it up on the court. McDougal kicks it out. Redling Schaefer swings it around to Tibbs. Here's O'Brien trying to work down low, but that was knocked away by Abby Van Menen, who's back in the starting lineup for the Potters after missing their previous game due to an illness. Just an injury bug going around. And Jeff, it's that time of the year. There's just a lot of nasty stuff that goes around.
And you're at that point, inbound pass Tibbs from the corner.
Another three-pointer from Avery Tibbs. She's up to 7 points.
Yeah, it's kind of like they talk about the NFL toward the end of the season. You're at that point in the year, you're kind of almost through that first rotation through the conference, and if you're not hurt and sore, you haven't been playing.
Right, exactly.
And now you got the illness thing to factor in on top.
Three-point shot, good.
Abby Brooks from Morton from the corner.
Abby Brooks with her first three-pointer of the afternoon, one of the better three-point shooters of this Potters team, and now they get a turnover. That was Julia Laufenberg with her hands in there.
Tipped the pass, and then as Tibbs went after it, she tipped it off Tibbs' hands out of bounds. Potters will have a chance to tie with a three-pointer here.
Back and forth action thus far here at Washington Community High School. Van Menen. Now it's Selke, left wing. Trying to see if they can get a look down low, but the Panthers' defense keeping it around the perimeter.
Again, we talked about the Panther versatility on offense. The Panther defensively, because of their versatility, they can switch screens, and people can guard different people. It's not really, hey, you've got to guard this girl all over the court. They can matchup wise, they can make the switches and be in good shape and not really get hurt.
Allows you to be more fluid, kind of to see how a game flow goes.
Absolutely.
Doesn't make you pick a standard way to defend, and you either live or die by it. Long possession here for the Potters. Tremendous defense by the Panthers. Still trying to get a good shot. Here is Laufenberg. Her three-pointer, no good. Offensive board. Van Menen goes up and gets fouled, and she'll get 2 opportunities at the charity stripe.
That's about the 3rd or 4th offensive rebound here for the Potters in the first quarter, so the Panthers will want to start limiting those second chance opportunities.
Second chance points can really be a difference maker, especially when you look at a game that could really go down to the wire. The previous matchup was just 4 points. First free throw, no good by Abby Van Menen. Van Menen was named to the State Farm Holiday Classic All-Tournament team, and last year was first team All-Mid-Illini Conference. Sophomore already racking up the accolades as she goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Here's McDougal, gives it up to Gade. 3-point shot, no good, but right there was McDougal for the easy 2.
O'Brien with a 3. It might have got tipped a little bit, came up short, but McDougal hustles, gets an offensive rebound of her own.
5-point Panther lead. We'll see if the Potters can come up with a response. And stuck. Almost a 5-second call. It will be a 5-second call. The crowd got a little antsy, waiting for the whistle, and they got it.
Home crowd always starts yelling at about 3, and once it called at 4, and visiting team wants it to go to 6. So,
it's one of those things no one will ever be happy with.
No, absolutely not.
Very objective when it comes to the fans aspect of it. Clock now hits 1 minute here in the first quarter. Good find underneath. McDougal couldn't get the basket.
Good high-low look off of the kind of 1-2-2 pressure there by the Potters. she won't miss many of those if the Panthers can keep getting them.
That shot is good, and one. Paige Selke.
Good spin, nice left hand inside off the glass. She can cut this to a 2-point lead.
Paige Selke, the all-around scorer for the Potters, can go down below and get the points. As she knocks in that free throw, she can get it at the charity stripe and also from outside. 5 points now for Selke. Here's Tibbs with the basketball. Panthers doing a good job finding it down low, and Gaudet connects.
Get it inside. There's the high-low again. Potters kind of in a 1-2-2, kind of extended 2-3 zone, and Panthers have exploited that a little bit by getting it at the high post and then looking low right away.
And a travel called.
Good defensive pressure from Mazzy O'Brien there in the corner, forces a turnover.
Mazzy O'Brien forces the travel on Claire Ceresa. Excuse me, Ceresa. In the corner, Avery Tibbs, you don't want to leave her open like that. That time missed. Offensive rebound, and looked like Gaudet was held.
Good rebound by Danny Gaudet. Like you said, kind of you expect all of Tibbs' shots to go in, but as a player, as a teammate, you can't expect that. You've got to be ready to go after the ball. You got to be moving before you see it missed.
Always important to be moving around, whether you have the basketball or not. Can usually generate good offense with good movement. Here's McDougal. She'll give it up to O'Brien. Becker just on the court, really trying to coach up his team here at the end of the quarter. 1 second left, and that was thrown out of bounds.
0.5 left. We'll see if the Panthers can get anything here. Probably going to have to be some type of lob. Might be able to get Gaudet cut into the basket.
Quick release, and we already see the Potters guarding Tibbs slow, but Katie Brock knocked it away from McDougal. So 1 quarter through here at Torrey Gymnasium with the Panthers leading 17-13 over the Potters. An action-packed first quarter. Some good offense, some good defense. Overall, just a great way to start this one.
It's the kind of game we expected from these two teams. I mean, both quality coaches, quality teams. And you've seen Morton's used a lot of their bench and a lot of their depth. So, you know, I mean, and it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be down to the wire, and the team that makes those plays down the stretch will probably be the one that comes out on top.
Certainly, and we'd like to thank Jake Weston for being a sponsor for tonight's broadcast. You can reach out to Jake at 309-444-4441 or visit JakeWestonInsurance.com for all your insurance needs. Great energy here at the Torrey Gymnasium. Students have made it out. Looks like a good Morton crowd has supported the Potters. And it doesn't get much better than this.
No, I mean, this is an atmosphere a lot of times as a former girls coach, you just don't get atmospheres like this a lot. And these two teams probably will experience a lot of it throughout the rest of the year because they're such quality teams and they'll draw fans. I see a lot of people who have no connection to the team. They don't have a daughter playing or anything like that. They've come because a friend's daughter is playing, or they're just in town and they like basketball and they know this is going to be a great game. So, those are the kinds of things that winning and success can breed. Morton's had it for quite a while. Washington's had it for a while, and, they clash. The roles are a little bit reversed. Usually it's a Morton with the one, higher seed maybe in the state rankings, but tonight we'll see what the Panthers do with it.
3-point shot by Van Menen is good. Ellie Van Menen now up to 5 points for the Potters. And quickly here comes the Panthers.
Panthers came out in a 1-3-1 half-court trap, and they quickly reversed the ball, and Van Menen buried that three from the wing.
Potters sticking to their zone defense. The Panthers look to go down low again. They had great success with that in the first quarter. Now Tibbs, top of the key. Looks to find O'Brien in the corner, feeds down to McDougal, kicks it out to Tibbs. Here's Redling-Schaefer. Knocked away by the Potters, and a great defensive possession right there by Morton.
Yep.
Active hands in the paint causes the turnover.
Kind of got Avery Tibbs with the ball up over her head, kind of made a weak pass that got deflected. The Potters come out of there with the turnover.
Now the Potters in prime position to take the lead with a basket here. Here's Van Menen, kicks it out to Laufenberg. 3-point shot. Move inside. Down low. Paige Selke got it and one.
Little late rotation by the Panthers there on the. Let Laufenberg get to the lane. She kicks it out to a shooter. That's going to be a second foul on Mazzy O'Brien.
Paige Selke gets to the free throw line for the second time in this one. And as I mentioned before, the team's leading scorer, 14.8 points per game, a 70% free throw shooter, and was huge in the Potters' recent game against Dunlap with 17 points as she converts on that trip. The game's leading scorer thus far with 9 points.
6 straight here to start the second quarter for the Potters. Take that 2-point lead. This defense has given the Panthers a little bit of trouble. Kind of got them a little scrambled. Potters doing a little better job of taking away that high-low. Panthers haven't got anybody into that high post here in the last few possessions.
Here's Gade driving down low. Her jump shot rattles around, no good. Loose ball, it'll stay with the Panthers. And I think if you're Coach Bob Becker, you're feeling a lot better about your defense thus far in the second quarter.
It's slowed the Panthers down a little bit and you know, kind of forced them. Forced them to be a little more patient on the offensive end. And
Gade turns it over. Here comes the Potters in transition. Brooks finds, that's Hayes. 3-point shot, left it short, rebounded by the Panthers, and diving on the ground was Selke. Great hustle play by the sophomore. And this will go to the Panthers.
Jenna Spezio checks in here for the Panthers. She's been a steady contributor off the bench for Coach Barth.
She recorded 3 assists in their previous game against the Canton Little Giants. Just goes to prove that you can be a factor on offense even if you're not scoring. McDougal tries to find anything. Spezio back to McDougal. Picks up her dribble, double team. Back to Spezio, finds it in the middle. Panthers working it around. Here's Gade. Missed it off the side of the backboard, but she was fouled in the process.
Good drive by Danny Gade. They got the ball there. You saw someone flash in the middle. It was Ainsley Redlingshafer, who's not going to score with it in there, but when she got it, kicked it out, moved the ball around, and Gade was able to attack on the baseline.
She was very decisive with her movement as Gade makes the first of 2 free throws. Three new Potters check in. Abby Van Menen, Katie Brock, and Julia Laufenberg.
Kind of a trademark of Coach Becker's teams is that he plays a lot of people. And I, you know, from having coached against him, it's one of those things where your kids always have to be talking about, hey, you know, Katie Brock just came back in the game. Somebody's got to know who's got her so that you don't leave her wide open for a 3.
It's all about that communication as we get a timeout on the court from Coach Barth. And once again, we'd like to thank Jake Weston for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. And you can reach out to Jake if you have any questions on your insurance. You can find him at 309-444-4441 or jakewestoninsurance.com. At the break, we can take a quick look at the Mid-Illini standings. We mentioned that this game has a lot of importance in this one. Winner will have sole possession of first place. As you see, the Panthers and Potters at the top 2. Dunlap, Metamora at the 3 and 4. Pekin 5, Canton 6, East Peoria 7, and Limestone 8. And the Mid-Illini seems just like every year. It's just a good parity of good teams.
Well, and you know, there have been years where Morton's been heads and tails better than everyone else, but at the same time, the rest of the teams are all good. I know some of my friends that coach in this league, we still talk about, you know, some of the best coaches in the area are in this conference, and they know what you're going to try to do. And, I mean, there's no surprise. You're scouted. You're, you know, the film that they watch, the plays they draw up, they know exactly what you're trying to run and how you're trying to run it and who you're running it for. So, you know, it's just such a quality league top to bottom. I mean, even the bad teams, you know, that maybe are toward the bottom are in a situation where they can knock somebody off.
miscommunication by the Potters leads to a turnover. And, you mentioned it, and I'm just thinking, you can't hide something from someone that knows you well.
Well, we talked about, both teams being 6-0, and the winner will kind of be in the driver's seat maybe in the conference. But it's also a situation where both teams had close games with Dunlap, and they both have to go to Dunlap the next time. So, it'll be a little, I'm sure they circled that game and are trying to prepare for some of that when it comes time.
Here's the Potters down low. That one was partially blocked. That was Van Menen's shot. So the Panthers looking for any kind of offense. None better to go to Tibbs. She gets the miss. Back-to-back missed field goals by Tibbs. They'll reset the offense. Down low, try to get it to Gaudet, and just out of reach. There'll be another turnover for the Panthers, so Washington thus far having a tough time to find that rhythm in the second quarter.
Well, we talked about Coach Becker changing defense. It started out man-to-man, and now he's gone to that zone, and it slowed the Panthers down. They've missed some outside shots. They've gotten some offensive rebounds, like you said, but it's got to be a situation where they got to start converting against this zone. Otherwise, they're going to see a steady dose of it the rest of the game.
Call is overturned on the court, but this time thrown away. Laufenberg, easy two. Potters back in front by 2. Halfway through the second quarter. Panthers so far just 2 points scored here. Gaudet was pushed on her shot attempt. She'll get 2 free throw attempts.
I would think Coach Barth probably isn't very happy with the way they played or shot the ball particularly, but it's a 2-point game halfway through the second quarter here, and they'll be able to go in at halftime and talk about how they want to attack that zone defense.
Lots of time left in this one for both teams to figure out how they're going to advance forward in this one. Danny Gaudet has been busy early and often as she connects on both free throws, now up to 8 points for the Panthers. Brock gives it to Van Menen, works it down low. Stuck, puts up the shot, good.
Good patience, drive the baseline, got stopped, but didn't panic down there and converts.
This time it was Abby Van Menen, her first bucket of the evening. McDougal kicks it out and threw it over the head of Tibbs. Looked like some miscommunication there, and that's kind of been a reoccurring theme so far.
Yep.
Tibbs wanted to cut towards the basket. McDougal assumed she was going to sit in the corner and shoot one of her patented threes.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean, that's a good spot for her to be. But
down low is Paige Selke. She can't convert. Fight for the basketball and a travel going the other way.
Good effort by Abby Brooks there to get an offensive rebound. Just kind of got tangled up and couldn't get the ball down on the floor before her feet moved.
Refs determined that she must establish possession of the basketball. Donald gives it to Gaudet. Knocked away, but a foul.
Yeah. Morton's playing much more physical than the Panthers right now, and some incidental contact that doesn't get called. I mean, just some contact on a catch and the ball gets knocked away. There it does get called, but there have been some plays where the Panthers just haven't responded to that physical nature that the Potters are playing with right now.
Katie Brock checks out of the game as she picked up her second foul. Probably won't see her for the rest of the first half. Starter for the Potters. Here's the inbound play to Gaudet. Now it's Adrian Donald. Donald back with the basketball. Fighting for positioning down low, and another overthrown pass goes into Washington's marching band.
Yeah, again, I mean, the Panthers kind of just making passes around the perimeter. Now, I think if they start using some dribble penetration or use that high post to flash people into, I think that's kind of the way to maybe attack this zone.
Despite all their struggles, it remains a 2-point game. So it looked like it was going to be very much so offensive driven in the first quarter, but now we're starting to see some defense play more of a factor in the second quarter.
Well, again, with these two teams having played once already, I'm sure they're aware of what the other team wants to try to do. Paige Selke with a good offensive rebound, rebounds her own miss and puts it right back up.
Paige Selke having a good start to this one. She's a nominee for our CSM Girls Athlete of the Week. You can go and vote for that on our social media. And don't forget to subscribe to CSM Overtime today. There's a nice basket by McDougal.
Good pass from Adrian Donald down low. McDougal sealed off the bottom of that zone, was able to get a crucial basket for the Panthers there.
It's really seemed like each response has been equally matched. That layup missed by Van Menen. Either one team scores and comes back and scores again, or both teams have a turnover or a defensive play.
Good ball movement there by the Panthers. Donald 3-wing off. Redling Schaefer with a board.
Now McDougal's chance, and she got it. That excites the crowd here as McDougal has her first 3 points. 9 for McDougal. And the Panthers regain a 1-point lead. Panthers student section excited after that one. Almost thrown away, and Selke tried to save it, but instead threw it away herself.
Again, you see the Potters making another 3-for-3 substitution there, and it's just said, always have fresh bodies out there, and it's hard to have one of their players get into foul trouble just because they're in and out so much.
Under a minute remaining here in the first half. Almost another turnover, but right place at the right time was Spezio. Down low, G'day, got it.
Redling Schaefer got it inside. Nice look by Ainsley up top. Throws the lob inside.
Great cut towards the basket. Can't finish the shot. Offensive rebound. Selke rattles around, no good. Here come the Panthers quickly in transition again. G'day almost traveled. The Morton fans wanted the travel. Off the knee of Tibbs, and it'll be back to the Potters.
Panthers tried to push after that missed shot inside. Deflection causes a turnover, so see if the Potters hold for one here. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to run something unless they can get a great shot inside, but maybe see if they can get a 3 up top.
I think the key will be patience. Van Menen.
Take this at about 5 seconds so you get a chance to get an offensive rebound. That's been a key part of your...
Spezio tried to get the steal, but instead gets called for the reach. Clock stops with 6.6.
Not the worst thing that can happen. It's only the second foul on the Panthers here in this quarter, so...
makes them run an inbounds play.
Laufenberg drives right side, looks. Selke down the lane.
At the buzzer, it's good. Paige Selke have a first half. It's a 28-27 Panther lead. Both teams just going after it in this one. Just great basketball thus far being played.
Kind of had a lull there in the second quarter where, both teams were turning over a little bit, not scoring, and then Panthers kind of got going there late and take a 1-point lead in here at halftime. I'm sure Coach Barth will be happy it's a 1-point lead instead of a 1-point deficit, but I'm sure they'll talk about how they want to attack that zone, and I would fully expect Coach Becker maybe to switch defenses and change things up here in the second half even again.
Good stuff here from the first half. Looking at some of the scoring leaders for both teams. G'day with 10 for the Panthers, followed by Rebecca McDougal, 9 points, and Avery Tibbs with 7. And Adrian Donald rounds out the scoring with 2 points. For the Potters, it's been Paige Selke with her 8 points, along with Ellie Van Menen with 5. 3 points each from Katie Brock and Abby Brooks, and 2 points each from Abby Van Menen and Julia Laufenberg. So great action here in the first half. Plenty more to come, but before that, we'd like to once again thank Jake Weston for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. Jake Weston, Jake from State Farm. You can reach him at 309-444-4441 or visit JakeWestonInsurance.com. We'll take a step aside here at halftime at Torrey Gym with the Panthers leading 28-27. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
Central Illinois, we're going to overtime. After 4 years of preps coverage in Central Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams,
Your stories.
Your stats and standings.
your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts.
As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds.
CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action.
More stories.
More coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
And welcome back inside Torrey Gym, where everyone's favorite halftime promotion, Chuck-a-Duck, is going on here in Torrey Gym. Boy, lots of good throws. They are really close to that middle circle where the Washington W is. It's the Panthers leading 28-27 here at the half. Jonathan Michael in here for halftime alongside with Jeff Little. And Jeff, boy, what a first half of action that was. Back and forth. The first time these two teams met was decided by 4 points. I think that it may be decided by even less this time around.
These two teams playing each other, it's going to go down to the wire, and you know, like it has so many times in the history between those two teams. So, the Chuck-a-Duck was a part of the Coaches versus Cancer tonight. Both teams, you know, kind of supporting this cause, and a great crowd to help raise some funds to fight cancer research.
Most definitely a special night here in Washington because of the Coaches for Cancer. You saw Bob Becker was wearing a Coaches for Cancer t-shirt as well. A couple other people in the building have those shirts on. So always great when there is a cause behind this great basketball that we see here as well. Again, Washington leads 28-27 as they find out who that winning Duck is. Big night for basketball here, not just here in Washington, but all across Central Illinois. Another good game that, while we have to take a moment, take a look at least I have my eye on, one that we were almost at tonight, but we decided, hey, let's come on down to Washington. Peoria High leads Metamora 39-34 in the fourth quarter in boys action. Those are two of the best teams in the greater Peoria area on the boys side, and that is going alongside with Morton too as well for our Potters fans out there.
There's quality basketball in Central Illinois once again, and I mean there are years where maybe it's only one or two teams, but this is one of the years where there are a lot of quality teams, and like we were talking about in the first half, you know, even somebody that maybe isn't at the top of the conference can come up and knock somebody off. So you always got to be ready in your conference games.
Most definitely, especially in the Mid-Illini girls. I mean, there's just been so much parity this season. You know, Morton and Washington have been by far the favorites, but look at, you saw the standings earlier, all those other schools. Dunlap has a solid team. East Peoria is having a good year. They won their first conference game for the first time in multiple years.
Right.
Limestone, even at 8-9, they are a good team with a very good duo of Michaela Pilgrim, Hannah West.
And like I mentioned in the first half, Morton and Washington both beat Dunlap by 4 the first time around in the conference at their home court. Now they've got to go to Dunlap and play, and you know Dunlap says, hey, we should have won those 2 games. So, you know, there are some teams that are there and ready to play. Metamora is always quality and has great athletes. So,
most definitely. And we didn't even talk about Pekin, a team that found the top 5 of the large school power rankings that we just released on CSM Overtime before we hopped over to this game. You can check those out again on CSM Overtime for those power rankings every week and more written coverage, news, feature stories, nightly roundups, everything Central Illinois high school sports. We got it covered over there. Beacon's playing a good basketball as well. They took down East Peoria Limestone. They took down state-ranked Galesburg too as well. So it's going to be a fun second go-round in the Mid-Illini. This is kind of rounds out the what I call the first tour of the conference play. Now that everyone plays each other again. And Jeff, as a coach, I mean, what element does that add, having to face a team the second time around now that they kind of know what you're doing a little bit?
Second, or in the case of these two teams, when they play again, it'll be the third time. I mean, if you've met somewhere in a preseason tournament or a Christmas tournament, you could be playing the third time. What's it add? I mean, it for your team, you know what you're going to see. And it's just a matter of execution. And yet at the same time, the coaches are good enough. They're going to tweak something a little bit. They're going to do something that's going to take away, maybe the high-low the Panthers have gotten here a little bit. Becker will do something the next time around where that might not be there as much, so the Panthers have to be ready to attack in a different way. Maybe the Panthers will look at, hey, they're really killing us on the boards. What can we use defensively to kind of limit their second chance opportunities? So many things that as you're going through that next time, what hurt you the first time and how are we going to change that and take it away?
And definitely, you talk about both these two coaches. I mean, this is just Mid-Illini royalty right here, looking at Bob Becker and Kim Barth. Becker obviously been around for a long, long time, over 600 career wins, all those state berths and state titles. Kim Barth in her 9th season is well on that way. She's getting near 200 career wins, so a big accomplishment for her. Panthers, though, are still looking for that first sectional title since she's been here, which is hard to believe, but this very much looks like a team that can go to the sectionals and even further. Morton could very well spoil it, too, as well. That Class 3A postseason is going to be
I know from
insane.
conversations that I've had with Coach Becker and, Coach Hersey, who's on the bench with Coach Barth now that used to be at Richwoods. A lot of coaches feel like if you can make it out of this sectional, out of this area, you're in good shape. Because you face so many quality opponents on your way to Redbird Arena that, you're not going to see anybody really that was better than some of the teams you've already played.
Most definitely. That's what we often see in sectional title games, super sectionals. Anytime that a Peoria area team usually faces a team from somewhere else, suburban Chicago, maybe the Illinois River Valley, they usually fare pretty well. So excited to see how these teams do. Again, looking at other Mid-Illini Conference games tonight. Pekin taking on East Peoria, Canton taking on Limestone, and Metamora facing Dunlap. Going to be a big night for action in the Mid-Illini Conference. But again, this has been our little halftime show. I'll hand things back off to Owen Dimful and Jeff Little again for the second half of a state-ranked battle. Number 1, Washington. Number 9, Morton. You're watching Mid-Illini Girls Hoops on Clutch Sports Media.
Thank you very much, John. Some good stuff with that halftime show, talking Mid-Illini basketball. It doesn't get much better than that, especially in Central Illinois basketball. You said it right at the start of the break. Just seems year after year, the basketball is good, both girls' side and the boys' side. And we got a great second half awaiting this one. The Panthers take the court, and Coach Becker has his squad ready to go. What will be your keys for the second half if either of these teams want to prevail for the victory?
Well, I think for the Potters, getting some kind of flow on offense. A lot of their offense maybe has been generated either off dribble drive or second chance opportunities, which is a great offense. I don't mean to say that, but if they can continue to do those things, I think they'll feel good about their offense. For the Panthers, I think it's got to be limiting those second chance opportunities and not turning the ball over.
Turnovers were a big part of that second quarter. We'll see if anything changes here in the third. Down low, Selke, her basket, no good. Gets her own rebound. Her second chance, no good. How about a third chance and one? Paige Selke took 3 tries, but she got there.
So many times, that it's not the second, it's the third, and it's not just the rebound in the basket, but you end up fouling. And, that's just great effort by Paige Selke inside, and Panthers not checking her out.
Free throw is no good, but still great effort by Selke. Here's the long pass to, that was Donald. Now a turnover by the Panthers. And first possession is a turnover. 3-point shot, Van Mennen no good, missed it off to the left. Another offensive rebound this time. Katie Brock, ball still around. Van Mennen, her shot yet again good.
See multiple second chance opportunities here for the Potters right off the bat.
Wide open three-point shot, no good. That was O'Brien.
Good look for Mazzy O'Brien. She can make that shot.
The Potters so far controlling the opening part of the third quarter. Easy layup, but just too much on it was Van Mennen. Now Gaudet with the basketball.
Potters back to that man-to-man.
Switching up the defensive looks. Wide open shot. Gaudet, that one's good.
Good dribble drive, good patience by Avery Tibbs. Drew the double team, kicked it out. Big basket by Danny Gaudet.
I think that's something good that Avery Tibbs does. Everyone knows her shooting ability, and she's going to be a point of emphasis for any defense that she sees, but she's not afraid to give up shots for her open teammates.
Absolutely.
Here's Laufenberg with the basket. That one's good. Julia Laufenberg with her second basket of the evening. 3-point Morton lead. Looked like O'Brien wanted to give it to McDougal, and Katie Brock draws the foul against Donald.
Yeah, kind of, again, careless with the ball there for the Panthers. They were going to hand it off. McDougal wasn't ready for it and gets knocked away, and Donald picks up a foul.
Spezio and Redlingshafer check in for the Panthers. See if this lineup can spark a run for the Panthers.
Katie Brock, has made a couple great plays, got an offensive rebound. One of the smaller kids on the court gets an offensive rebound in that last possession. Sets a nice little cross screen to try to get it inside to Selke.
This time a Potter turnover as Van Mennen tried to give it to Sarisa. Or excuse me, that was Laufenberg. Laufenberg went to go set a screen. And there's a foul by Selke. Just her first foul.
But again, with all the rotations like we talked about in the first half by the Potters, they're not going to have anybody in foul trouble.
Tibbs, inbound pass, finds Spezio. Potters back into the zone defense.
Zone out of the out-of-bounds play. A lot of coaches like that.
Passing the ball around the perimeter. This deep shot, no good by Gaudet. Offensive board gets back to Gaudet. Throws it down to Donald. Post move, got it. Adrian Donald with a nice move down in the post.
Good pass by Danny Gaudet, drops it off. Good use of the glass inside. Van Mennen posting up Gaudet inside. Tries to get it across Laufenberg. Brock wide open.
Brock's three, no good. Rebounded by Spezio. And already in transition goes Tibbs for the easy two.
Great outlet pass. Jenna Spezio finds Redlingshafer. Redlingshafer head up the whole way. Tibbs hard to the basket.
Bob Becker has seen enough. He's going to need a timeout as the Panthers crawl back ahead of the Potters, 35-34, 4:45 remaining here in the third quarter. It's been a great night of basketball, and you want to reach out to a great insurance guy, it's called Jake Weston from State Farm at 309-444-4441, or you can visit jakewestoninsurance.com. You know, Jeff, I think heading into the end of the third quarter and maybe into the fourth quarter, whoever can make fewer mistakes should be in prime position to take the lead and possibly never look back in this
I think it was Troy Aikman last night on the Monday Night Football game said Jimmy Johnson's quote was it's not who makes the biggest plays, it's who doesn't make the bad plays. And you could be right. Down this stretch, it'd be the team that limits those turnovers and second chance opportunities could be the one that comes out on top.
Selke driving in low, tried to spin around. Left hand, no good. Finds her own rebound. Tibbs intercepts it. Now Tibbs working one-on-one. Left hand layup, good. Avery Tibbs generating a little bit of a Panther spark here in the third.
That is the thing about her. I think she came into this high school basketball as a great shooter, still is a great shooter, but now has added that dimension of being able to put it on the floor, her passing, just becomes such a much more complete player.
Van Mennen fakes around, draws the foul on G'day.
Good patience in the post there by Van Mennen. I love the way she kind of, it almost reminds me of old-time post players where you kind of have your patience, you fake one way, come back the other, and just drew the foul.
Her first free throw rims out, no good. Really feels like if any player can have a consistent move down below, they can really become a good player and just a good scorer for the team.
Yep.
That time she makes her second free throw. Tibbs finds McDougal in the corner. Down low is G'day. She's done well when she's gotten the ball down below, but sometimes the Panther offense hasn't been able to get it there. Now all 5 beyond the perimeter. Here's G'day, drives baseline, tried to give it to McDougal. That one bounced right into G'day's hands as she was standing out of bounds.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough break, but she's got to let that ball go. So the Panthers, the Potters had tipped it out. I think it would have been Panther ball and not out of bounds underneath. But
natural reaction, right, Jeff? Ball's coming at you, catch the ball.
You catch it, yeah. Any other time, I'm supposed to catch it.
Tough break for the Panthers. Here's Selke. Kicks it out into the corner for Van Mennen. Or excuse me, that's Brooks. Tries to find it down low.
Good rotation by the Panthers there. Kind of take that away. Oh.
McDougal possibly got away with a travel. Redlingshafer working around. O'Brien to G'day. 3 Potters collapsed on that pass.
Yeah, just another force, but you fake that pass, there'll be people open around on the perimeter. And I think the Panthers kind of are doing a little bit too much standing around on the outside of that zone. They're not really looking to attack it off the dribble. And
O'Brien guarding Brooks closely.
Good pressure by Mazzy O'Brien up top.
Now Redlingshafer applying pressure. Knocked away, Danny G'day. Here's Tibbs with the ball. 2-on-2, drops it down to Redlingshafer, denied. Paige Selke, not in her house.
It draws the foul. A nice pass by Tibbs. Could have taken it herself. Gave the pass to Redlingshafer, and she draws a foul. She'll shoot 2.
Crowd got excited. I didn't even hear the whistle on that one. But it'll be Redlingshafer at the free throw line. She makes her first. Her first points.
Ainsley coming back off that ankle injury from early in the season. She's really given Coach Barth's team a spark and another quality player. Her defensive pressure and her ball handling, really the 2 skills that she brings most. Knocks down a couple big free throws there to extend the lead here to 4, 39-35.
And Redlingshafer, a junior for the Panthers, part of that great junior class that they have.
I would think that's one thing. If I'm playing them, I'm thinking, okay, good, but then you look and they're like, everybody you're playing against, really, there are a few seniors that come in and contribute a little bit, but you're playing against a lot of juniors.
I think on the flip side for the Potters, they have a good collective group of sophomores as well.
Yes.
A lot of talent here in the Mid-Illini. Another basket by Selke. And that talent looks like it could stay around for another year or 2.
Absolutely.
2-point Panthers lead. O'Brien gives it to Donald in the corner. Kicks it out to Tibbs. Flashing down low was O'Brien. Knocked away by Laufenberg. And it'll stay with the Panthers. 1:33 to go here in the third quarter.
I think pass fakes kind of be important here for the Panthers too. The Potters doing a great job, very active in their zone defense, long arms, making every pass contested.
Maybe you can catch them to bite on one.
Yeah.
Could create an open shot. Donald now in the corner, trying to work way out.
The thing about zone defense is you've got to get it to move either by dribbling or by passing, or pass faking. You've got to get the zone to shift, and once it shifts, you've got to take advantage of the open area.
G'day did just that.
Yep.
And she gets to the free throw line.
Made a great, once the Panthers got the ball back to the high post, the Potters are doing a great job taking that away. And G'day flashed along the baseline, and so many times that high-low was there.
G'day has been the leading scorer of this entire game, 14 points. She had just 6 points in their previous game.
Well, I think that's what's important about the Panthers is I think they've had 4 or 5 different players be a leading scorer at some point this season.
Kind of hard to game plan to shut down one player when you have others that can step up to the occasion.
Well, unfortunate turnover there for the Potters. I'll tell you, Mazzie O'Brien did a great job there. The Potters wanted to get the ball in Katie Brock's hand. She wouldn't let her have it. And then, force somebody else to handle the ball, and then you create a turnover. So good work by Mazzie O'Brien.
3-point shot by O'Brien, no good. Tibbs tried to get it, but it'll be the Potters. Brock now gives it up to Van Mennen. Deep 3 ball, missed it wide right. Loose ball, Potters still have it. Selke, 3 ball, short. Brock right there, and she couldn't get the layup.
3 chances there by the Potters.
20 seconds for the Panthers. 3 ball, also missed by O'Brien. But guess who? Ainsley Redling-Schaefer right there. And Julia Laufenberg knocks it away, stopping the clock with 11 seconds.
Laufenberg's done a great job. She's got her hands on a lot of passes, tipped a lot of things, almost created another turnover there. 11 seconds here. 3-point lead for the Panthers.
Here's Tibbs with the ball. Picks up her dribble. Now McDougal. 3 seconds turnover. And then another turnover as the clock hits 0. Panthers, they're in a tight one. It remains a 3-point lead as they enter the final frame in this one. It's been tightly contested, both teams going back and forth throughout the quarter, but 8 more minutes left to decide in this one.
I'm sure both coaches would probably say, hey, we have to do a better job taking care of the ball. But I think you can also say that both defenses are creating some of those turnovers. So I think it's so important that, that here in this last stretch, this fourth quarter, like we said before, it could be the team that maybe makes the fewest mistakes. It could be the team that kind of gets on a little bit of a spurt, a little bit of a run. If somebody can get out and get to a lead and maybe start holding the ball, draw some fouls, step up, make some free throws, it could be the way this one ends.
You say mistakes, but make no mistake, you can reach out to Jake Weston for your State Farm insurance needs. Call him at 309-444-4441 or visit JakeWestonInsurance.com.
Jake, former Panther football player, basketball player here, and now a State Farm agent here in town. We appreciate his support and everything he does for Panther athletics here in Washington.
Washington, just a long history of great athletes and those that stick around to help the community and really all the different programs succeed even longer. Panthers will start the fourth quarter with the rock. Update over in the Peoria High Metamora game. The Lions by 12 with 20 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll get a whistle on the court.
A couple good dribble penetrations. Becca McDougal a little tentative here offensively. She passed up a couple good looks there at the basket. She was taking those early in the game, and the Panthers need some more points.
Paige Selke having a great game, but picks up her 3rd foul to start the fourth quarter. We'll keep an eye on that one as this game progresses. G'day now with the rock. Almost knocked away by Sarisa. Long skip past Tibbs. She takes a jab in. Now Redling-Schaefer with it and over the head of O'Brien.
But again, right there, you see Laufenberg just making that pass from the point to the wing tough, make the Panthers throw it a little bit higher, and goes out of bounds right there into the front row of the student section.
It's the little things that can really make a difference. And for Laufenberg,
she's a good athlete. I mean, she's a long arm, long leg, and out there on the top of that zone makes that pass tough. And the Panthers are just having a hard time really getting any kind of rhythm offensively against that zone.
Laufenberg just 4 points, but she's made her biggest impact really on the defensive side.
That's always been the key to a Potters team is, there will be main scorers, but everybody's got a role, and everybody knows that role and executes, does it. I mean, you've had kids come off the bench, make shots, make a play on defense, get a rebound. So, it's so important that everybody knows what they're doing. Coach Becker does a great job of teaching that to his players throughout the season, throughout the off season. This is what we need you to do. It's what they work on, and that's what they execute.
Potters trying to find a good look. Redling Schaefer knocks it away, and a foul by Hayes.
Redling Schaefer in the game, had the turnover on the last possession, but she makes so many things happen on the defensive end herself.
Quick turnover by the Potters. Be really curious to see what the turnover totals for both teams would be.
Both coaches would say too high.
Too high for sure. And the Potters in their game against Dunlap, they forced 20 steals, so this is nothing new for them. Tibbs thought about taking the top of the key three-pointer. Brock knocks it away, meets Redling Schaefer deep, and she gets called on the foul. Katie Brock earns her third foul. Checking back in is Abby Van Menen. Nowhere to go with the basketball. Tibbs gets it back. Gade wants it at the free throw line. She gets it down low. They're going to rule it that a Potter last touched it.
Yeah. Good high-low look. Mazzy O'Brien trying to get it there. The defense had shifted up. That's not a bad look. Then get it up over top of that. Get a basket for Gade pretty easily on that.
It's what she's done best tonight. Posting up, attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line. Minute and a half into the fourth quarter, and we're still scoreless. Long swing pass to O'Brien.
Nice.
Finds Gade underneath, but a travel. Tough break right there for O'Brien and the Panthers.
Probably did. Needs a jump stop there instead of kind of drug that pivot foot.
Looked like it was going to be an easy two for the Panthers.
But that's the one time there where I think the Panthers have tried to dribble penetrate against that zone, and that was going to give them a great look if they hadn't had the travel.
Timeout on the court. It'll be a full by Coach Bob Becker. So 6:15 to play in the fourth. We're still looking for the first points of the fourth quarter. And the score is nearing the similar mark of the first matchup when it was 44-40. I think obviously both teams know each other really well. But going into the fourth quarter, do you try and change a little bit?
Well, at some point, this is where you got to remember these are high school athletes. So at some point, the pressure starts to mount, starts to build. And so, those players that have known their role, it's going to be the kids that stay in their role and somebody doesn't try to do too much and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure both coaches have something in their on the play sheet that they haven't run. They've got something defensively they haven't shown yet. But they really don't want to show it now because, like we talked about earlier, they're going to play one more time in the conference and then could meet in a sectional. You may want to hold it for one of those more important games down the road. But, it's been a tight fight. We expected it, and so far, we've gotten that here. No points in the first on nearly 2 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Wouldn't that be something, a possible fourth matchup in the postseason? It happened last year, just the third matchup between the two last year. But if you look across the 2 calendar years, could be 7 potential matchups. That's a big three-point shot by Peyton Hayes, one of the better three-point shooters on this Potter team. Evens it up at 40 apiece.
And again, you just see that back man-to-man defense. Redling Schaefer drives.
Redling Schaefer caught underneath, and Barth is going to want a timeout to save the ball.
Got to get in there. You really can't pick it up unless you got something to do with it. You need to kick it out. But Hayes with a huge three to tie this thing up, with 5.5 here to go. Her first basket of the game, and it's the one that ties the score. So, You know, like you said, she's a good three-point shooter. She knows what her role is. She's wide open and buries it.
She was 2 for 5 behind the arc in their game against Dunlap. 8 points, 3 steals, 1 assist, 1 rebound. So a player that can do it all. And I think that's a really key attribute that you can find between both teams, that players that can do a little bit of everything.
Well, and like you said earlier, you know, sometimes you don't come in and contribute by making a basket. Maybe you come in by make a steal, or you get a rebound, or you set a screen for somebody to get a shot. I mean, it's one of those situations where you just got to be able to do something to contribute to your team.
The way I like to look at it is it's a puzzle, and each player has their own puzzle piece, and you can't have the full puzzle without each piece.
Correct. The picture is not complete.
McDougal trying to find an open teammate. She gets it back. G'day, quick feed down below. Redling Schaefer, oh, so close on that one. Rebounded by Van Menen. She works
She's
it up
going to go
court.
coast to coast. Good pass, Selke.
Big basket for the Potters.
Panthers should have had a basket inside. Comes off the rim, and then don't stop the ball back on the defensive end.
Potters back ahead by 2. Under 5 to play here in quarter number 4 at Torrey Gym. G'day gives it to Tibbs. Back to G'day.
Tibbs has been quiet. You know that trigger is getting itchy.
She thought about it the last time she had it. Here's a long skip pass to Redling Schaefer. Potters once again just closing the middle of the paint. Spezio works her way around. Now turning into a long possession. Spezio drives baseline. Back to McDougal. Her three-point shot. Big time shot by.
We were just talking about players doing little things. Jenna Spezio drives baseline, doesn't panic. McDougal rotates out, kicks it out for the 3.
Great teamwork on that play. And they're going to get Redling Schaefer on the foul. She reached in, almost had the steal.
Good help on the dribble drive, not a big problem.
Still 4 minutes to go, but that feels like a big shot that Rebecca McDougal just made.
Yeah, she's been quiet since that first quarter, and then, you know, maybe that can get her going offensively. She's a key part to this team, you know, and you know, a lot of the Panthers looking a little tentative offensively. I'm sure they want to get a good shot. You know, they're good offensive players.
Almost to 5 seconds. Here's a trap as Brooks throws it off a Panther leg.
That was a well-scouted out-of-bounds play. The Panthers, little cross pick and post up, and I'm sure that's been pretty effective for the Potters, and the Panthers just doubled that post screen inside and took it away.
Here's Selke with the basketball. Gives it to Van Menen. Her three-point shot, little too much. Fight for the ball. Going the other way, and for Paige Selke, that's her 4th foul.
That's a good, now there's a situation where the Panthers checked out, did a good job on the defensive boards, and forced them inside for the foul. So, you know, we've talked about how the Panthers really have gotten hurt on the offensive boards, but there they do a good job. You know, we talked about down the stretch, the team that maybe does those little things. We had a great pass from Spezio and a big shot from McDougal, and then you got to check out down there and draw the foul.
Thought I had the foul count wrong on Selke because it only had 2 on the scoreboard, but then they updated it back to 4. So Paige Selke, 14 points in this one, but 4 fouls with 3:37 to play. Panthers by 1, and that one was intercepted by Van Menen. O'Brien wanted it to go to McDougal.
Trying to get it inside and just a little late. Bounce pass probably would have been a better option. Van Menen up top, guarded by Redling Schaefer, trying to back her down.
Great move, could not finish on the shot. High rebound, Brooks with it, she saves it from going out of bounds. Skip pass, wide open. Ooh, Van Menen, she didn't take the shot. Drives instead, great defensive play, Danny Goudet.
But Van Menen steals it right back.
Back and forth.
Potters have numbers.
What a
Off the Potters, wow.
What a chaotic sequence. Both teams experiencing the highs and lows. of a fourth quarter 1-point ball game.
Great defensive play. Danny Gaudet comes across, blocks a shot, comes up with it, tries to make a cross-court pass. Van Mennen doesn't hang her head and steals it right back. And the Potters had numbers. Boy, that could have been a big basket there for the Potters.
Really would have been a big one. But going forward, it's the Panthers, and now the Potters get it right back. Redling Schaefer a little out of control. Long pass through the hands. A brutal miss by the Potters.
Redling Schaefer trying to dribble through the whole defense, got by a couple, but then got the ball tipped away. Potters come back. I think the pass was tipped a little bit and then goes off their hands out of bounds.
Sarisa had the ball go through her hands and out of bounds into the Morton bench. Still remains a 43-42 ball game.
A lot of passes getting tipped out there on the Panther end of the court.
Trying to go inside is McDougal. Tibbs, she traveled.
Potter's doing a good job just kind of forcing her about one step out from where she really is comfortable. I mean, she can make that, but one step farther out, she kind of hesitates on shooting that, and they draw the travel.
Both head coaches are who you would want in late, close ball games, but not much you can do when your team's just making those little errant mistakes, either a travel, quick shuffle of the feet, a missed pass. Van Mennen, three-ball, bang! A big three-point shot by Van Mennen.
Panthers really didn't challenge that shot there in the corner, gave her a wide open look, and she makes it. Gives the Potters a 2-point lead here with 2 minutes to go.
She's been quiet for most of the game. Abby Van Mennen, that is. Her second shot into the game, now up to 5 points. And with 2:02 to play, that could be a big one going forward, as points have been at a premium here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I would expect Coach Becker maybe to change defense once again here, maybe go back to that man-to-man. Although the zone's been so good, I don't know, maybe extend it here a little bit. Definitely got to keep an eye on Tibbs and know where she's at, because she can create a shot for herself or her teammate pretty easily.
Panthers so far with just one foul, but Morton with 4 already committed. That would mean the Panthers are going to go to the free throw line the rest of the way in this one. Tibbs almost faced a partial double team right there. Gaudet wants it down low. McDougal back to Donald.
Well, that high post area, if Rebecca McDougal could duck in there.
Donald looked open down low. Did not get the basketball. Clock now down to 1:25 here in the fourth. And the Panthers are still moving the ball around. Here's McDougal underneath, left hand, good!
Good pass up top, Adrian Donald. Finds McDougal on the post up.
45-45, 1:10 to go. Long skip to, that was Sarisa. Works her way to the right elbow. Timeout, Becker. Sensing the pressure of the moment, he wants to make sure his team is under control.
Well, and he wants to get a couple subs back in the game there. Sarisa kind of got herself hung up in the lane. Was going to be close to a 3-second call if he doesn't take that timeout quickly. So make the offensive substitutions that he wants out there in the game. 57 seconds. We said it'd go to the wire. I guess we were right on that one. So
wasn't too far off from our prediction, but both these teams have proven that they'll go to the wire most of the time this season. That's kind of been how the Potters have played their regular season so far. Has been a lot of close ball games.
Well, and Coach Barth will tell you, too, they've had some games where, I think they had a 2-point game with Springfield early in the year, the 4-point game with Morton. They've had some games where, the 4-point game with Dunlap, and they were trailing late in the game. So, I mean, they've had games where they've had to play well down the stretch. So, like you said, these are two great coaches to have in this situation if you're a player out here. They're going to put you in a situation to succeed.
Both teams have had signature wins thus far, but whoever can come out on top on this one will be feeling a little bit sweeter moving forward in conference play.
Well, sometimes you worry about winning this first one and that, oh, we've got it now, and you stub your toe somewhere else along the way, and then you still got that other matchup down the road. So
it's kind of what happened to Washington last year. They won the first matchup, but then proceeded to drop the following two. Clock now down to 50 seconds. Katie Brock with it. We'll see how much she will dribble out before moving forward on offense. Redling Schaefer wanted none of that. She knocks it away. It'll stay with the Potters.
Well, and I think this is where you were talking about the Panthers only having one team foul here in this quarter. They can be really aggressive and get up and try to make a play and get a steal.
I mean, if you're the Potters, do you hold for last shot that it's a tie game?
Well, you know what? I think on the road you probably do that. I mean, you're not afraid to do that. You certainly will take anything you can get, a back door. You don't want to do that.
Knocked away by Redling Schaefer. Here's McDougal. She almost had it knocked away. 28 to go. Good A. Kicks it out. Redling Schaefer holds on to it. 20 seconds. 45-45. Timeout on the court. Coach Barth wants to set up her offense for a potential go-ahead shot.
Ainsley Redling Schaefer got a little piece of that ball. Katie Brockoff dribble penetration, just kind of tips it and creates the turnover. Now the Panthers will have a chance here, 18.3. Coach Becker makes his defensive substitutions. He's got them in the game here. So we'll see what Coach Barth and the staff draw up here.
And who do you think that they're going to with this offensive play?
I would think it's going to go to Tibbs. Now, whether she takes a shot or not, I would think Coach Becker is saying don't let Tibbs get a shot, but you've seen her unselfishness where she's, drawn defense and given the ball to someone wide open. So I think she'll be the focal point. Whether she gets a shot or not, I'm not sure.
Still a lot left to play in this one, just with 18 seconds left, but both these teams will play on Saturday. Washington will visit Metamora, and Morton will host Canton.
Well, and dare I say, we may not have just 18.3 seconds left. We could be looking at another 4 minutes if the defenses continue to cause problems.
The way this one has played out, it wouldn't surprise anyone here at Torrey Gymnasium. Here we go. The crowd feeling the excitement. Redling Schaefer gets it to Tibbs. Clock now down to 10 seconds. Finds McDougal through her hands and going the other way. Rebecca McDougal had the chance to get a good look right at the basket.
Good pass, Danny Gaudet, just off her hands. Sometimes you get that, you try to go too quick. Got to catch it first. So good play drawn up by Coach Barth. Good look inside.
They had it exactly how they really wanted to, I'm assuming, on the setup. But once again, it's really been a partial story of the night is just high passes that have slipped through the intended receivers.
I think you've seen that from both teams. Both teams have had, passes, long passes, cross court that are just, too long, too high, tipped out of bounds. This could be a situation where with the Panthers only having the one team foul, you can foul 2 or 3 times up the court here and take some time off the clock. Now, you got to be careful not to foul somebody that's, throwing up something from half court and give them 3 free throws as well. But, you got fouls to give here if you are the Panthers.
It's been good. It's a good asset to have for the Panthers. They've been playing good defense, and that's allowed them to limit their fouls. 7.1 on the clock. Morton does have the possession arrow on their side.
Well, and this could be a situation here. You're asking me who the Panthers would go to. Who do the Potters go to? Do they go to Selke here? She's going to take the ball out of bounds, so she's going to have to sprint the floor. Look for them to run some kind of curl cut and get somebody just on the fly. Panthers have given up once or twice some dribble penetration.
Here's Selke. Gives it to Van Meenen, almost knocked away. Selke just about traveled as she fell, but they're going to say a foul on the court. Not necessarily a bad thing.
No, but I think the Panthers were trying to foul in the backcourt. I think they were trying to foul when she passed it. Selke, if she had kept her balance there, I think that was going to be It'd be a good shot for them in the lane.
We'll take another timeout on the court. Wow, a lot going on in this one. And once again, we'd like to thank Jake Weston for sponsoring tonight's terrific broadcast. You can find him at 309-444-4441 or visit jakewestoninsurance.com. 1.8 seconds remaining here in regulation. 45-45, Panthers, Potters, first place in the Mid-Illini Conference on the line right here.
You know, Coach Becker's got a play that they can run with 1.8 right under the basket. They'll have something that'll get them a good shot here. And there'll be more than one option. It's not like you take away the first thing that you know, there'll be a second option. And if the Panthers really collapse and try to take away Selke, they're going to leave somebody wide open that can make an open shot.
If they guard Selke heavily, I would keep my eye on one of the Van Menens. Ellie has 8 points and Abby with 5. Both of them have hit a three-point
shot.
shot.
Now, you're not guarding the inbounder, so you got to be careful of the ball going right back to her.
Van Menen, her shot up, fouled. She will get 2 free throws.
Or 2 shots. Two shots.
They're going to say she was fouled on the shot. And the Washington crowd is not happy with that one.
Now, that's tough. I mean, you know, with 1.8, you know she's going to be catching and shooting it. So to try to foul in that situation is really, really difficult.
Abby Van Menen, she missed the previous game, misses the first free throw. It's her first game back in action since missing with an illness. She has one more chance. 0.5 on the clock. 45-45. She makes the second free throw. The Potter faithful erupts. And she is met by her teammates with excitement. 0.5 on the clock. Morton now up by 1, 46-45, and Class 3A's number 1 ranked team, undefeated, might be on the ropes in this one.
Well, definitely on the ropes. Here's the situation, though. You said the Potters, I can't see the board. Potters have 4 fouls?
They do.
So this is a situation where if the Panthers can get some kind of long pass down the court here to somebody and the Potters foul the catch, puts them on the line. So, you know, I think the Panthers are probably looking for something long down the court, you know, and try to catch and shoot. I mean, that's all you can do. 0.5.
It's going to have to be quick, and I think you're right. We're going to see a long kind of baseball-style pass down the court. We'll see if they can either get it there or if Morton will have the length or ability to step in front of it. But it's kind of a 2-part process. Can you get it down there first? And then if you can do that, can you get it up with enough time?
Can you catch it and get the shot off?
It's going to have to be a quick process. Redling Schaefer knocked away, and the Morton Potters come into Torrey Gym, and they knock off the previously undefeated Washington Panthers. What a game.
Great effort by the Potters tonight. I mean, defensively, they just gave the Panthers fits all night, created a lot of turnovers, and, you know, I think these two teams will square off again, and we know they will at least one more time, and it'll be another tough matchup at the Potter Dome at the end of the regular season.
This is the Mid-Illini Conference at its finest.
Oh, absolutely.
Wire-to-wire basketball with defenses making just enough plays and one team just out-dueling the other when it matters.
Well, and you know, and sometimes it's just a matter of 1 or 2 plays at the end of a game. And you know, tonight the Potters got those couple of plays, got the free throw in there at the end with the score tied. So, you know, I'm sure both teams will look at this and say, hey, we didn't play well enough to win, but we had a chance to win. You know, a lot of turnovers and a lot of things like that. So, you know, great effort by both teams. I'm sure Coach Becker's ecstatic about a win and ending that streak for the Panthers. But I'm sure Coach Barth also, you know, in the locker room has told girls, hey, our goal is to never go undefeated. Our goal is to play better each and every night out on the court, and we've got work left to do, and it starts Saturday against Metamora. So,
who knows? Maybe this could be a blessing in disguise for the Panthers, because when you have a 21-0 record, you feel like you're trying to protect that more than anything. Now you got that monkey off your back. Now you can really focus on getting better.
Yeah, in some cases you do. I mean, I don't know that coaches feel that way. Maybe players and parents feel that way, I think, sometimes. But, I think from a coaching standpoint, I know Coach Barth well enough and her staff that, they're focusing on trying to get better. We got to do these things better. I'm sure they'll talk about offensive rebound baskets they gave up. They'll talk about some of the turnovers they had. Coach Becker will probably say some of the exact same things to his team. It's just they're talking about it in a happier tone than this locker room is. So, great game. Two great teams battled all the way down to the end like we expected them to, and we got exactly what we wanted.
Game number 1 in the State Farm Holiday Classic tipped in favor to Washington. Game number 2 here in Washington goes to the Potters after Ellie Van Mennen clinched the game with a free throw. That'll do it from Torrey Gymnasium as the Morton Potters outlast the Washington Panthers by a score of 46-45. I'd like to thank our crew, Ben on the camera, Jonathan Michael producing, alongside me, Jeff Little. Sorry, Jeff, almost forgot your last name.
You're fine.
But thank you very much for joining the broadcast. It was a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to maybe having you again.
Absolutely. Love to do it again.
Awesome. Well, for everyone here at Clutch Sports Media, I'm Owen Dimpfel signing off. Once again, Morton wins 46-45. We'll see you next time, folks. Drive safe and have a good rest of your week.